Leah, for coming in today. I'm glad you made it to our appointment. I did tell by our phone conversation that you were a little hesitant to come and visit with me today.
Yeah, I've been made to come here. I don't think I need treatment. I don't think I have a problem. And I'm just coming here because I was told to come here.
Oh, I can see that being here is really not a priority to you right now.
No, it's not. It's not. I've done treatment before. It doesn't work. DCS told me I had to go do all this stuff to get my kids back, and I did it, and I did all the in-home services, and I did all the tests and the hair follicle and everything, and I passed everything, and then the minute they left, I just went back to using it. It doesn't do no good. I have no faith in the system.
So you've been through treatment before, and it was unsuccessful. Tell me a little about that.
Well, about 6 months ago, I got involved with DCS again because of my alcohol. I like to drink. I like my wine. I like my vodka. I like it on a daily basis. DCS got called out because I passed out with my kids running around, and somebody called it on me. So I went to a IOP, graduated IOP with flying colors. I did all my random alcohol tests. Everything came back great, and did the in-home services to address my issues that caused me to want to drink alcohol. I did everything, and the minute they closed the case, I just got the urge again, and I just went back to using. So I don't think it works.
So you feel like alcohol treatment is unsuccessful. Tell me a little bit about what made you start using.
I like to drink. I like the way it makes me feel. I like the way it makes me feel like nothing else matters in the world. I get down, I get sad, and that's my release. That's my outlet. That's how I cope with being sad and lonely because I'm a single mom.
Okay, so you are a single mom. Does DCS require, or they're requiring you to come here today?
Yes, they have my children, and because this is my second offense, they're telling me I have to comply with treatment, and I have to show a long stretch of sobriety in order to get my kids back. So I'm here, and I'm really frustrated because I don't think I should be here because I don't really think I have a problem. I mean, one incident's a couple DUIs. I mean, that's okay. I mean, there's people there's doctors that have DUIs. There's dentists that have DUIs. I mean, why me? Why do I have to lose my kids because I got a couple DUIs?
I feel like you're really frustrated with being here since DCS is requiring this. Are there any motivating factors, things that are motivating you to get treatment for yourself?
Well, I love my kids. I have a daughter and a son. I love my kids to pieces, and they are my world. They are my knight in shining armor, and I will do what it takes to get them back. I really do love my kids, but I kind of have to weigh it because I love my alcohol and I love my kids too. So I'm just going to have to kind of weigh. The kids are definitely more important, but then, I have some situations in life where the alcohol trumps.
So your children are the most important thing to you. What do you think, would stopping drinking help you become a better mother? Are there ways that you think that could help?
I definitely think if I was to stop drinking, I'd be able to spend more time with my kids. Pretty much right now, when I'm at home, like my kids, one's at home with me, one's goes to school. Pretty much when I am on the couch asleep, the kids I lock the door and they pretty much wander around. So if I was not to drink, I'd be able to spend more time with them. I have a lot more money because alcohol is very expensive. I spend a lot of my disposable income, which is not much, on alcohol. Okay,
so by stopping drinking, you would be able to have more quality time with your children and also be able to have sounds like you'd be able to have more income. What would you use the extra income for if you were able to have that instead of drinking? What would you use it for?
Gosh, what could I do? Because right now, I'm probably spending $300-400 a month on alcohol. I could buy us a car. I don't have a car. I have to rely on friends and family. I have to take the bus. I could buy my kids nice clothes. I mean, right now, we have to go to Goodwill. We have to get the clothing closet from the CAC. The school system has to give us clothes. I could pay my rent. Like, I've got utilities for the past 6 months because I can't pay my rent. I mean, there's just so much I could do if I had the extra money.
It sounds like you would have extra money to spend on quite a bit of things if you weren't having to or weren't choosing to make that choice and spend it on alcohol. By saving money, do you feel like, you might not have to rely on people more as much?
Yeah, right now I rely on a lot of people. Like, I rely on my parents a lot. I'm always asking them for stuff. They've had to pay our rent several times because, we got the eviction notice, and my parents are getting mad because, hey, you're 26 years old, you should be on your own feet and doing your own things, and here we are helping you, I'm irresponsible. I admit that I'm irresponsible.
Okay, so you have had to rely on your family and different government assistances, like you said, with the CAC assistance and with clothing assistance. So extra money that you did save up by not drinking could be spent on you doing that on your own.
Yeah, I really could do it on my own. We wouldn't struggle as much if I was not drinking, but I like to drink. I love everything about it. I don't like it when I get sick and I puke everywhere, but I like alcohol. I like the way it makes me feel. I like, just the way I'm silly and goofy, and how, I don't think about how lonely I am and how much, I like it. And it always, the feeling always makes all these other things about having more money, makes it not that important.
Okay, so you said struggling, and that means you have to rely on other people. And by using alcohol, do you feel like you're not relying on others as much, or alcohol just makes those feelings of relying on them go away?
It makes it go away. I still rely. And if I didn't drink alcohol, I know that I would not have to rely on people because I could do it on my own. But I have to rely on people when I do alcohol because I spend so much of our money on it. And then I feel bad about it, and then I drink. I drink some more, so it's a vicious cycle.
Right. So you could work to become more independent by not relying on others, by having your own money to use if you weren't using the money on alcohol. You did say that you tend to use the alcohol as a coping skill. Are there any other coping skills that you ever utilize to help with stress?
Well, I used to be very involved in stuff, and I had lots of hobbies, and I don't really know what changed that. Maybe I can get me another hobby and read a good book, or go for a walk, or go shopping, or maybe call a friend on the phone. But I don't really have a lot of friends, so maybe I could look into that.
Hobbies can be a good distraction to maybe take your mind off of choosing to use the alcohol. There's often hobbies that you can do with your children, and you did say you wanted more quality time with them. You said making a friend. If meeting a new friend is important to you, you could try something like Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, to meet new people.
Really? Yeah. I've thought about that. How would I go about that? Who does AA? Where are those?
I can give you a list of AA providers that are in our area. Often the meetings are held at different group locations. Some of them are at public places like churches or just different buildings. All of them have the address and the times and a contact number that I could give to you, so you could call about maybe going to one of the groups if you think that would be helpful.
Okay. I will definitely take that into account, and that will be something that I will look into.
So we've talked about the positive changes that can occur in your life if you are no longer drinking. We've talked about being more independent by saving your money up and not spending it on things such as alcohol. Talked about being able to spend more quality time with your children, and also being able to maybe meet new people. And it sounds like that's a lot of things we can do. So what are some further steps that you feel like you can take to stop drinking?
Well, I have my ritual. I have my mimosas at breakfast, and then I have me, my wine at dinner, and then I have my couple of shots during the day, and maybe another mixed drink. So maybe I could cut out some of those and slowly wean myself off, or maybe I can, whenever I get the urge to drink, I could ask for a friend, call a friend or something, maybe.
Okay, so by keeping that ritual, do you feel like you'll be able to, does that leave you open to be able to stop drinking if you're continuing maybe the ritual you said by cutting everything in half and not drinking as much? How is that going to stop you from drinking? In the overall, how is that going to stop?
I don't know. Maybe that's not a good approach. Maybe I should just go cold turkey.
Well, you've had great suggestions talking about tapering yourself off. You've mentioned going cold turkey. We talked about AA groups before. Would it be helpful for me to give you a little bit of information right now? Maybe some different things you could try.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some things you can start doing before our next session.
Okay. Yeah, I'm all for some advice because I'm lost with this. I don't know where to go. The last times I tried this, everything was going good, and then the minute DCS stopped getting involved and the people stopped coming out, I just went back to my old ways. I need some lasting things that are going to keep me on the right road.
Lasting things are important to kind of keep that stability in your life that it sounds like you want to gain for you and your children. Since you talked about meeting new people, we did mention how AA could be helpful, but maybe once you did get to the AA, it would be helpful to get a sponsor.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, but I don't really know much about AA, but I've heard that getting a sponsor takes a while, because you have to get in there and get to know the people, and they have to match you with somebody. So, that could be weeks, that could be months. So, what do I do in the meantime?
Oftentimes it does take time to connect with someone to let them agree to be your sponsor. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, we could designate someone that could be your person you could call whenever you do feel the urge to drink, or you're feeling like you're at that really high stress level that you've designated that stress level as to when you normally would drink.
I have to think. Alcohol is a big part of my family. A lot of us drink, so it would have to be somebody that doesn't drink. And I want to think for a second. I would probably say my children's father. He is a very good guy, college educated, has a good job, pay their child support. That's why we can live without me working. And so I would call him because he's definitely on the straight and narrow.
I mean, him being on the straight and narrow can be very helpful for you to get back on the straight and narrow, which sounds like something that's what you're wanting right now.
Yes, I need to get back on the right track. I have veered off to the unknown, and I need to get back on the right track.
Okay, so it sounds like he can be very helpful in being that go-to person there. But I do want us to address, what if that person's not there for you to talk to at that moment? I wanted to give another suggestion. A lot of times people can journal what's going on in their minds, in their thoughts. So maybe you could utilize journaling. So when you did start feeling those urges, and you could write down how you're feeling, and maybe by writing down your emotions and feelings, that can somewhat take away that thought in that moment for me to drink and give you more time to think about your choices instead of just doing the action of drinking.
Yeah, I could do that. I think that would be a good idea for me to journal what I'm thinking, because a lot of the times when I'm drinking, I'm feeling at the lowest part of the day is when I'm drinking, and I can write about it, and I can come back later and maybe discuss it with you or somebody else. So.
Well, journaling does sound like it would be helpful to you. I want to take it a step further and ask that, when you did journal at our weekly sessions, that you could bring that in so we could talk about those journal entries.
I think that'd be a really good idea. So then, maybe we can, I think that'd be a great idea.
And by us talking about them, we can be able to start to see some of the reasons why you do choose to drink when it does happen, what you're feeling when you drink, what you're feeling when you don't drink. and hopefully this time in our treatment sessions, it can be successful for you.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. I can already tell you though, the big time I feel when I'm drinking is when I just feel lonely and when I feel abandoned, and even though I have my 2 kids there, so I'm not technically lonely, I don't have anyone to have an adult conversation with, so I still feel very lonely, and that's the big part where I drink.
I hear that loneliness does cause you to drink, so I do encourage you to get into the AA sessions. And so you can go to a meeting when you start to feel like you need to go. Hopefully set up a schedule, like a ritual of when you could go. You did say that you had a ritual you used when you drank, that you would drink so much. Maybe let's change that into a positive ritual of going to AA as many times a week as you feel like would be beneficial. And getting a sponsor and also talking to your children's father is going to be very helpful. So when you are lonely and you are there with your children, it would be okay for you to call someone and speak to them. You wouldn't have to leave your kids. They would be, at home with you, taken care of. And you'd also be able to call your sponsor, call their father to speak to them. And also, journaling can be helpful. It might not feel like you're telling someone at that moment, but you are writing it down so you can come back and tell someone.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think you have some really good steps, but I'm still feeling kind of like, well, will this work this time? Because we've tried so many different things, why will this work and all the other things didn't work?
Well, I know when we first spoke earlier today on the phone and then at the beginning of our session, you weren't very positive about what could happen throughout our session, and I feel like that, shift has kind of changed, and you have pointed out to me things that can make you more optimistic about change.
Yeah, I definitely feel that I definitely know that I need to change, and I definitely feel that I can change. I just don't know if I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just don't know if it's going to last. That's what kind of concerns me.
I hear you. I see your concerns about the sobriety not lasting. Then what we will do is make sure our sessions are set up to once a week, to where you feel like you have the time to talk with me every week about what's going on and how you feel like maybe if you've drank, how it's affected you, those emotions surrounding that. And then we will not end our sessions. I just want to offer this to you. Once DCS says they can be done, we will be able to continue our sessions until we feel like the alcoholism addiction has been, addressed thoroughly, and set you up with some, make sure you have a good support system in place with your family, with AA, to where once we're done with treatment, you would be able to have that support that right now you told me, and you did say earlier that you weren't having right now.
Well, I like that. So you won't leave me once DCS is gone.
That would be
leave me.
That would be your choice. DCS is going to have a requirement about our sessions, and what does go on between our sessions is between you and I, and they want to see you're complying with our sessions. If we both feel that your sessions need to continue in order to maintain your sobriety, that would be something you and I would talk about as a clinical standpoint, and then we would set you up with aftercare, making sure if you needed any further assistance or if you needed to continue your AA, you would have those available to you.
Well, that makes me feel better that you won't leave me. So I have a question for you. Since I'm required to come here, will you be writing DCS a letter saying how good we did today and how much progress I made?
DCS will be handling, and I don't know if they explained this to you, they will handle all your drug screens, checking you randomly in your home for if there's any usage of alcohol. So I won't have any control over testing that. They do require you come to 12 sessions with me. And so we're going to do those sessions each week. And after those sessions are completed, then DCS will make sure you've had clean blood. I believe they'll test your blood for that. And then once they say it's fine and you've completed our sessions, then it'll be up for you and I to go from there, okay?
Well, will you write a note to DCS saying how good I'm doing?
Well, I want us to not, you say the word good. If we can, use the word progress and measure it by progress. Let's measure your progress. And your progress was started today by coming to our meeting today, and that's going to start our progress together.
So you're going to write a note?
What I'm going to do is make sure I report to them that you are coming to our meetings, okay? I do understand your concern, and I know this is a very important thing for you. And what we've talked about are some very important things that go on in your life. And so I want you and I to be able to talk about those things, comfortably and confidentially, and just know that they're going to be requesting your attendance record from me. That is what we have set up with DCS. They will monitor any compliance with having no alcohol in your home by doing the checks and by testing your blood alcohol level. That'll be their choices, okay? And so what I want you and I to work on is some of these emotions surrounding the alcoholism, okay?
Well, that sounds good.
All right. Well, I will see you next week at the same time.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
Pleasure. I love it.